have the trust of my party people to represent them. And I have the trust of my people to step forward and contest the senatorial position in order to be able to represent them, to give them quality representation at the National Assembly. So it feels good.
What was the preparation like? And what was the feeling like before you went for the primaries and all of that?
Well, it was, you recall that I contested in 2018.
Yeah.
And I didn't make it. I was confronted with the fact that the governor of the state and myself are from the same party, the Senatorial district at the time. And given the fact that my part of the Senatorial district, we have 2 local governments, so I came against the guy from Akoko who had 4 local governments. So it was a disadvantage. But I fought, I did my best. I just didn't have enough numbers. So I went back to the drawing board. From that moment, I wasn't discouraged. I didn't even wait for anybody to come and reconcile me or persuade me. I felt that I needed to stay faithful to my party, work for the party, go back to the drawing board, and look at where I could have done things differently. And I began to work. To interest you that in that general election, I not only won my unit, my ward, I also won my local government for the party. And that was the only local government won in my Senatorial district in 2019. So this time around, I looked at, like I said, I started working from the time that I lost the last primary. And I went around the 6 local government like 3 or 4 times. As a matter of, at a point I relocated to Akoko, and I spent some days there, reaching out to people and engaging them. So, but few days to the primary, naturally, you reflect and ask yourself, I hope these people that are making these promises will stay true to their promises. I hope they will deliver. I hope they vote for me. So you have that moment of anxiety. But it turned out that I won the primary. I was so excited. The response to it has been tremendous. From within and outside the party. Because people are now looking at personality beyond parties. So you have a lot of people who are not partisan, and they're just looking for quality representation. So I've been receiving quite encouraging and exciting comments.
Okay. Let me also take you back. I know you've been involved in politics for quite a while now. What was the initial attraction that you had years back when you dabbled into it?
To be honest with you, I wasn't set out to. Initially, I wasn't even thinking of elective position. I just, as a man that I grew up in the village, I found it very difficult to disconnect from my people and remain connected to my roots. I know my humble beginning, and each time I go to the village very often, and I see what is going on there. You try to provide leadership in your own little way, your own little resources. It can never be enough. And you see gaps that people in government are expected to fill, but and politics is so structured in Nigeria that when you have people in position, they think about their own immediate community. So everybody wants somebody from their community or their ethnic group or what the other to go represent them. So when people began to encourage me you're supporting people. I've been in active politics for about 15 years now. They are not, you have to go and you supported people to go to House of Rep, House of Assembly, local government chairman, and all of that. With your resources, with your time, and everything. Why don't you have all it takes to give us that quality representation? So, in 2018, I decided to contest. Like I said earlier, it didn't go well, but I wasn't deterred. I wasn't discouraged. I kept on the field and kept working on it. And now I have the mandate to contest the general election.
And you're also one person who not been jumping from one party to another and all that. What explains that? Your consistency in your party membership?
Well, a lot of factors, but I think primarily your character profile. You have to. I believe that if you believe in a process, you have to allow that process to evolve. People will have different reasons for jumping from one party to the other. But I have a second address. I'm a businessman, I'm a professional in politics. I am not a full-time politician. My life does not totally depend on politics. Therefore, my judgments, I believe, should be a lot more objective than the full-time politician who believes that once he's unable to get something immediately, he has to move to another party where he feels that he can get it. In my own case, I believe that one should be consistent. I can't be jumping from one party to the other because I'm looking for something. To represent my people, to provide that leadership for them, also require that I demonstrate that reliability, that this person is not, even if he gets the mandate today, he's not going to run away with it. So that explains why I've remained in the same party.
So what are we likely to expect from you in terms of the promise you made to the people and the things you're likely to do for them?
SK, you know me. You've known me for years. My thought process is very constructive. I'm well prepared for this job. The nature of my job, my profession prepares me for this because lawmaking, representing your people, it's about trading ideas. It's about aggregating their expectations, projecting it and protecting it. It's about having the ability to lobby your colleagues. Your social skill, your emotional intelligence, everything comes into this. So it's not just about going to Abuja and being a senator. No, it's much more than that. I can feel the pain of my people. I know where, it hurts in terms of, the gap that they have. I know their expectations, and I'm going to continue to listen to them. Like I said, like I've been saying, that I'm going to give a people's driven representation. Because I am not going to Abuja on my own. People are going to give me the mandate to go to Abuja. So I need to listen to them, know their priorities. My priorities may not be their priorities, but as long as the mandate belongs to them, I have to listen to them and ensure that their expectations are met. So that's where that's kind of representation that you're going to see. Of course, you're going to see vibrancy. I cannot be gagged. I can't be intimidated by anybody. I am well prepared for this. I can hold my own anywhere.
You belong to a party that is not in power in the States. Don't you think that would make it more challenging for you to beat the incumbent party?
It would not have been less challenging even if I were to be a member of the ruling party. But I'll tell you something about Ondo State. Ondo State is a very unique state. As we speak, we have 2 senators. PDP has 2 senators in Ondo State. So, how did that happen? It's so much about personality. And I tell you that people are tired. People are just tired of the ruling party. You know, the situation of the economy today. You go to to the grassroots to see what they are going through. It's amazing. So people are going to make their choices based on their own expectations and assessment of the increments. And I know that my people are yearning. They are eager to see, that vibrant, purposeful, and progressive representation at the National Assembly. And that I'm ready to provide.
Okay. So how strong is the PDP in Ondo?
PDP is very strong. PDP is very, very strong. You can't take PDP for granted in Ondo State. Like I said, we currently have 2 senators. The
Two out of 3.
Yeah, 2 out of 3. So that speaks volume.
The incumbent in your district is it from PDP or from APC?
The governor is from my town.
Okay.
Yes, the governor is from my town. But you must also understand that my people have expectations. Currently, my senatorial district is divided into 2. You have the Akokos and you have the Owas. Or consists of 2 local governments. Makoko has 4. But the incumbent senator is from Makoko and has been there for 11 years. By next year, we would have spent 12 years. So, naturally, somebody from my part of the senatorial district should succeed the incumbent. And that is why, from both parties, from PDP and the APC, people from Owo and Ose did participate in the recent primaries of both parties. Except that I won from PDP. So and the people of Northern Senatorial District are very sophisticated beyond these ethnic boundaries. They are looking for quality representation. They are looking for vibrant representation. They have myriads of problems confronting them that they will require somebody that is, well informed, somebody that is well prepared, somebody that has the wherewithal to give them that quality representation. And I do believe that they are going to vote for me.
A lot of professionals usually run away from politics. And I'm wondering, how do you come to terms with the current state of the political situation of the country sufficiently enough for you to want to run and play politics with the existing on the Senatorial?
Well, I'm a problem solver, even in my business, my profession.
Okay.
Every day you get, you never know where the next brief is going to come from and how complicated it will be. And whenever you receive that brief, you are expected to solve problems. People run away from professionals, run away from politics because they believe that politics is problematic, that the intrigues and everything is too much, it's too complicated to handle. But I do not see it that way. If you really have the passion for your people, passion for development, you have to stop complaining. You have to stop, being on this side while you complain about the quality of people there. So if you are good enough, if you have what it takes, and you are not there, somebody will have to lead. So nature harbors vacuum. So the earlier that is understood, the better for all of us. You may not get what you want. Like I've been there for a couple of years. Some people get into this process in a very few years. They get what they want. Some will take a longer period, but let us at least get involved, at one level or the other, so that we can also make our own contribution. Because if you don't have quality people in the system, you are going to be the victim of the level of performance that are provided by, the people you complain about.
A lot of students about Toks. I'm wondering, Can you share with us the stage at which you are now in terms of growth and in terms of development of your brand?
Well, naturally, I think I'm a lot more mature. As you grow, there are things that you used to do that you do no more. There are adventures, but I must tell you that Toks is a lot more equipped. Toks is a lot more, Toks is armed with a lot of experience, years of experience in profession, in business generally, and also in politics. One is not getting younger, so you see things from a more objective and less adventurous perspective. You become more realistic as you advance, in age. There are things that you see, you have to take a second look. Like before, oh great, let's move. But one asset that God has given me is that of my thought process, the creative thought process. In everything that I do, you will see there that this is different. People have been talking about my campaign that is different, it's unique. It's part of me, the talent that God has given me. But more importantly, I have developed myself over the years. Let me give you an example. In 2018, immediately I lost that primary. I decided I was going to read law, and I got admitted. And I have my head again. So I'm better equipped than I was in 2018 because now I'll be going to the National Assembly, with the knowledge of the law. So I'm not just going there as a professional communicator, somebody who has been in business, exposure, and all that. I'm also going there with the understanding of how law, I mean,
Let's also talk about your view of the country. For someone like you who has also watched Nigeria evolve over time, do you think, what would you call the problems or the problem that we're faced with that has brought us to this point? And what's your own reading of the scenario, the Nigerian scenario today, either politically or as a nation and all of that?
as a nation, we're in crisis. As a nation, we're in economic crisis. We're in,
Did you see us getting to this point?
I never saw this coming. It's so bad that if somebody had predicted this 10 years ago, the naira would be over 600 to $1. That person would have been stoned. If anybody had predicted that it would come to this very sorry, pathetic state, nobody would have believed. But here we are. Total failure of leadership. In fact, absence of leadership. Because failure means that somebody is making effort. But this is total absence of leadership. And something very urgent, needs to be done. And that's why all of us must get involved one way or the other. Because when we say, oh, I'm not a politician, and then, we have our destiny, in the hands of those who lead us. So, and the quality is reflected in their performance. How have they performed? We are in a country where you have a president that is so uninspiring. There's nothing inspiring about Buhari. Nothing. Is it in the area of economy? Is it in the area of security? Is it in the areas of the unity of the country? Today, everywhere in Nigeria, is vulnerable to security problems. You can't even travel by road and be secure. So where do we go from here? So that is a major, major problem, and I believe that the next president of this country he's got a job cut for him. You know, whoever becomes the president of Nigeria must assemble people that share the vision of a better Nigeria, regardless of where you come from. The person must be prepared to be the president of everybody, not the president of a part of the country. He must be prepared to tackle the issue of security, the economic issues, the unity of this country is very, very important. It's so bad that some people don't feel safe going to some part of Nigeria anymore. It is that bad. How did we get here? How did we get here?
Talking about your professional sector, when one looks back, we don't get the kind of, sorry to say this, the vibrancy that that sector was known for when you guys were years back. You were younger, and I'm wondering, even copies, you don't get those kind of copies that give you that hit that you love. I'm wondering, is it as your sector also become affected by the general? I don't know.
Yeah, like if you go in, if you interrogate every sector of the economy, it is the same thing. You go to law, the quality, of lawyers in the older generations, I'm not sure that you have the same quality. You go to, broadcasting, you go to, our sector or profession is not isolated from the economy. Because when things happen, it affects, we're human, we're all human. The passion that goes into, even in journalism, the kind of passion, your generation, somebody will give you one line, you turn it into a book. You still have that. Now you have to write, back in the days, you write one press release, you send it out, you see different versions coming, because nobody is going to use that press release that way. You see that because of the knowledge, not anymore. So no professional sector is isolated from a nearly failed state, because we like, you can't say Nigeria has failed totally, because we still live in, people still go to work, but where we're at now, we're in a state of a near failure, almost gone. And every day it's like we're getting close to the tip. We're moving close to the tip. Is this country going to, fall? God forbid. That is why we need everybody to be part of the process. Because whether or not we like it, government is the biggest business in our country. So it regulates, and resonates in every other thing that we do. Our culture, our lifestyle, our businesses. Government affects everything. So if the disposable income is not there, the power, the purchasing power is taken away. And when that is gone, what do you have? So this affects even our psyche. An average young man in Nigeria today wants to live. His only dream is how to escape. So it's not because he's seen anything big in Canada or America or London, but you just want to get out of this. Like, this bus is stranded. Oh, let me not be the last in the bus. Until we get a driver that is able to fix the bus and start moving it, before people will start getting comfortable. It used to be that Nigerians were coming back home some years ago. Many Nigerians relocated back home, because they felt that, they will be more comfortable here. The businesses will thrive. But it's the other way around. Everybody's moving on. Everybody. Those that had the privilege of schooling